Hey gang, Mocha Boy here. Welcome back, and thanks for tuning back in. So we're here on Wednesday. It's Christmas Eve, and we got an early Christmas present. If you guys caught the last few minutes of that live stream that we posted in a hurry, you will have followed along in the drama and noticed that we actually ended up clutching the win for the Reddit Leaders Clan War in the last 30 minutes of the war. I mean, this had everything. This clan war is definitely one of the more fun ones that I've been in. It didn't start that way. There were a lot of heated comments, at least early on, and some very strong opinions about the things that we should be doing. And this is typically what happens when you have a group of leaders stuck in the same clan together. But you know what? In the end, we all pulled together. We all battened down the hatches and came up with a game plan to clutch the win. And just kind of skipping to the chase, I'm going to show you exactly what happened and how this all went down. Running to about the last 30 minutes of the war, we were down 34 to 36. We were looking at the available stars that were at least available to them, and we noticed that they had at least two more stars that they could go in and pick up, potentially even more. And they did have one opportunity to win this, but a failed raid on Ben's base ended up stopping that push. So with about 30 minutes left to go, what ended up happening was we had three attacks. Hang on one second. We had three attacks come in from Twist, Jing, and Tyler. Now Twist came in with he's a Town Hall 10. He came in with a Quad Hound attack on a Town Hall 9 for 3 stars. It had already been 1 starred, and he came in with 2 more stars. But then the really clutch win was Jing's attack. Now he was rank 20. He attacked the number 6 base, which was a Town Hall 10 that had some exterior buildings, and I'm going to show you exactly how that all went down. And then Tyler came in to seal the deal with the Hog Raid on their number 20 to push us ahead for the win. They did end up coming in towards the end and launching 3 additional attacks, one of which defended. This was almost like a max go wipe raid on one of the Town Hall 8s, and they only came up with 96%. This is why you don't go wipe Town Hall 8 bases. And then they sent in a cleanup attack finally to get Kavika, who was sitting in the 18 position for that last star. But it didn't matter because this failed attack on Ben from their number 1 pretty much sealed the deal. If he had gotten 1, they would have tied. If he had gotten 2, they could have won. But that just didn't pan out for them. So let's now looking through the rest of the match. We started off. We had a really auspicious start. We were pretty much behind the entire time, except for one point where they had gone to sleep and we launched all of our attacks. But we had so many failed attacks. So many 1-star attacks because we were pushing such exotic strategies. And honestly, at the level that we play at, the game is played at that TH9 bracket where you have to come in with those 3-star. You have to deliver those 3-star raids to come through on these tough matches. And if you guys were watching RedCloud's stream, he mentioned the exact same thing. That's just the way the game is played at this point. But we're gonna go through and really quickly just show you a few of the clutch attacks, starting in from the bottom and then working our way on up to the top. But M-Ruff, I forget exactly which. I have to get the clan leaders list of names down, but he came in for. This was just a bully attack on a TH8 base, but we needed some solid stars, and he had to take off, so he ended up hitting that base for 3 stars with, I believe it was a hog attack. But let's see, on 14. Actually, sorry. Let's as far as Tyler's attack on 20 was concerned, Town Hall 8 base, mass hogs, bunch of witches in his CC. There's nothing too crazy here. Grabbed the lore, processed that CC, launched his hogs, dropped his 4 heals. There's not too much here to go wrong because there were no spots for double giant bombs anywhere on the base. So that was an easy hog. Now that was Tyler's attack. RedCloud came in early. This was one of the early 3 stars. I think he came in with the first 3-star. This was also a hog raid. Used. Let's see if I can just speed this up here. Now, what was really interesting about what he was doing here was he wanted to make sure that he removed this double giant bomb threat. And you notice he sent in a couple of ground forces to take those out rather than balloons. And that was because there were double giant bombs right in this pocket and right in this pocket. This is one of the reasons why you have to have multiple pockets for double giant bombs to ensure that if they don't, they've got to try to sniff out four pockets or disable four pockets to get around that threat. In this case, we only needed to disable one of them and then send in a small team down here to go trip the others. But then the main force came in from the northeast. Because the Teslas were so spread out, they met in the middle. One rage to process this entire core. One of the very rare times when a rage actually makes sense in the core. There were a lot of high hit point defenses that they had to process through very quickly. You probably could have switched it for a heal, but heal rage. It's a matter of opinion in that scenario. And it worked out for him, and he was able to go in and clutch for the 3-star there. So moving right along, the next three-star was on 11. This was Twist Town Hall 10. I believe he was sitting in the 4 or 5 position, and he came in with the Quad Hound. Now, the Quad Hound has a couple of different approaches, but generally the idea is that you have to disable at least one of the air defenses, and in this case, he chose to do it with lightnings. So one composition allows you to use freeze and 3 rages, 3 rages and 2 freezes. But in this case, he brought 3 lightnings to take out one of those ADs, and then used his heroes. Let's see, where did you use your heroes? He used his heroes to take out the clan castle. This was a bit of a gamble, because those clan castles pack a lot of DPS, and heroes they do a great job of tanking and DPS, but even up against the clan castle, you're talking, sometimes upwards of 300 to 600 DPS packing in those wizard punches. So he was able to get them at least outside of the walls and get them processed, at least enough to get to drop some minions on their head and finish them up. But at this point, he didn't have his heroes, and you want to have your heroes to at least be able to clean up some of the base. He sends in duo hounds at the air defenses, and then a stream of balloons right behind them. And then after this, it's just all about having those lava hounds explode into the lava pups to clear the bombs, and then the pups themselves become the DPS. This is one of the reasons why you don't have to take as many minions, because the pups themselves are minions. And so long as everything is clearing the way, all of your defense-led troops are clearing the way to take out the aerial defenses, your lava pups will be free to just roam, taking out the base. And that's exactly what happened here, because the balloons were so slow. This raid came down to the last 4 seconds. That's how little time there was left on the clock for him to finish this 3-star. And we were literally screaming at our tablets, for the balloons to move just a little bit faster, because right now we're starting to get a little concerned with the balloons starting to consolidate over here, because they have to go from this side of the map all the way to the other side of the map. To finish processing the base. But in this case, it was the lava pups that ended up coming through and clutching the 3-star for this, because they were so fast and nimble. So fantastic job there. This was like within the last 30 minutes, emotions were high, and this was such a crazy roller coaster. Now this triple, this was one of the earlier 3-star raids. This was a follow-up attack on this base. Khan had attacked this base, and I used the same deployments that he had in the same order that he had to take out these buildings with 12 loons. I was able to take out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 defenses with 12 loons. That's a very good ratio. You only get better doing 1-to-1. Doing 1-for-1 trades, taking out those. But then that left me free to take in about 27 hogs. And at this point, he had already sniffed out the double giant bombs. We knew exactly where they were. So, but one of the things that we discovered on this base was that he did have loons in the CC. So we had to make sure that we pulled those out to take care of them. But at this point, this is just a standard CC pull. Got them down with the witches. We'll be able to take care of them, and then the hog raid's going to come in from the bottom right-hand corner, and then just kind of process their way through the base. Now, one of the things that I did do is I saved my CC hogs to come in from the northwest as well, to kind of just eliminate this pocket as a double giant bomb threat. But I didn't notice at the time that this cannon was still standing, so that screwed up some of my pathing, and then they all ended up pathing over the bomb anyway. So you'll see a weird kind of heal halfway into this raid, but this was a typical, on the edge of a needle holo, because we're only talking about 12 loons here, but there was nothing left for the defenses. There was nothing left that was a threat for the hogs, because this is such a spread out base defensively. The hogs can just process through them and then get recharges at each of the heal stations along the way. But I finished this raid with about 30 seconds to spare, using Khan's deployments, I was able to go in and kind of optimize the composition so that I took exactly the amount of loons that I needed, and then let the hogs finish up. So that was that was a really fun ride there. And I do have to say sorry to Prominex. I had been staring at that base for an hour, trying to figure out exactly how I was going to go through it, and then I just launched my raid without saying anything. And Prom from Infinity had also cooked up an army for this, but again, my bad, bro. The last triple that we had on this base was from Big Bad Dad, and this was the raid that I failed. I came up with 0 stars on this base because I couldn't jump my heroes into the core to take out the heroes, and that ended up spelling a defeat for this. Plus, I just chose the wrong attack routes. You only get one chance at these attacks, and it just was not going the way that I thought it was. So I made a last second decision. I called the last second audible to change my deployment path for the hogs, and it ended up being a really bad choice. The original plan was to send them straight in 2 strings from the south, because we had a suspicion there were quad Teslas in the core, which ended up being true, and that the bombs, not double giant bombs, but the bombs were up in these pockets up here somewhere, and we ended up dropping loons there just to clean up the pathing so that we could path around those bombs. But because there are no double giant bombs in these areas, you don't need to worry about pathing the hogs through them. You just have to make sure that you pre-heal those spots. In the raid that I failed on this, I saw the bomb go off, and then I dropped the heal, but by that point they'd already sustained enough splash damage that the bomb was able to take them out, because literally a couple of wizard blasts, 2 or 3 wizard blasts along with 1 bomb, and that's enough to take out a pack of hogs, which is exactly what happened. But Big Bad Dad came through. It was kind of a bully raid, and he was at Town Hall 10, and but he was, we needed some solid stars, and this was definitely a hoggable base because there were no double giant bomb threats. So he was able to go in there and just run gangbuster on this base with his troops. So fantastic job there. Now, getting to the highlight here, what we came to see here was this raid here. Tyler had done his part, Twist had done his part, but really this was the one. I'm sure they were looking through our profiles saying, "Oh, we don't have any attacks left." That was not true. Jing had one attack left, and Ben, I believe it was Ben from Xenon or Ben from or Demons. I'm sorry, I don't have the list in front of me. Came up with a plan for a TH8 attack on a TH6 to get 1 star. And that was a mass dragon attack with some minions and archers to clean up these exterior buildings. So let's watch how that all went down. Ben had come up with a detailed plan: drop a pack of dragons here, drop a pack of dragons there. But the idea here was to make sure that they didn't trigger the clan castle, because that's the one thing that could have possibly upset this, was if the clan castle came out. So it was going to be okay that the dragons were able to go in and just trigger some of the ground, trigger just the ranged forces, take them out, excuse me, deal with that dragon. I'm sorry, so that was part of the plan, was to send in a pack up there just to take out the dragon and the CC. And then a pack of dragons down here under rage to take out this pocket, along with the builder huts. Speed this up a little bit. Then another set of dragons over here, another set of dragons, and then, minions over on the right-hand side to take out what was left. Now, dragons are tanky. They've got so many thousands of hit points that they'll be enough to take out at least a chunk of defenses, at least under rage. But at this point, we're in good shape. A lot of the air defenses are down. This one archer tower is definitely an issue, but Jing had brought enough minions and archers, because at this point it was pretty much going to plan, but those skeletons that were left over from the witch spawn were aggroing on the ground forces. So that made things a little dramatic, because at this point he's used all his minions. He's still got 4% to go, but some of these buildings are still in range of the air defenses. Now, you figure drop the Barb King. The Barb King should have gone in and taken out those 2 buildings, but that didn't happen. But he was able to clutch the win with his minions over on the those exterior buildings for the win. So that was it. This was, like I said, this clan war had everything. It had the drama, it had the emotional highs and the emotional lows. We made so many mistakes early on, and this is definitely not a showcase of what we're capable of. And granted that these were a bunch of guys who would never fought together. We didn't really go in with a strategy, but towards the end, kind of just tightened our belts and made sure that we represented the RCS the best way that we possibly could, and we were able to pull through with the win. And I have to say, this was probably one of the most fun clan wars. I mean, it wasn't fun when we were losing, but watching those last few battles come through, the planning that went into them, the coordination to get people to attack certain bases. I mean, we've done cleaner wars than this, and we are absolutely capable of it. But this was just us responding to a very stressful situation with some very focused thinking. And again, I want to thank all of the folks that had joined in on the stream to kind of cheer us on. I was checking the statistics, and something like 800 or 900 people had joined the stream. I was so surprised that it was as well received as it was. And we're going to try to do a few more of these. Maybe do some base reviews, talk about some strategy. There were a lot of opinions that were brought up during that live stream, and I want to make sure that you guys understand our perspective on them. Every clan's going to be different, and every clan is going to have different goals. It's important for you to just understand what yours are. So that's where we're at. Thanks for tuning in.